Hi, my name is Emma Leonard, and this is my oral rebuttal to the paper debate. I am arguing the negative side, Rachel argued the affirmative side, and our topic is that active shooter drills do more harm than good in our schools. I think it's impossible to have this conversation without first acknowledging that it's heartbreaking that we have to implement these drills. The reality is that we need stricter gun control to protect our students, our teachers, and our faculty at our schools. But until that legislation is put in place, this is the conversation we're left with. So the first point that Rachel made is that there's no federal regulation. And the reason for this is that education decisions are left up to the state based on our Constitution. She also said that it is up to, quote, each individual academic establishment. And I think this is an unfair reflection of the decisions that are made about our education. This makes it sound like every school, every principal is the one who's deciding how we go about active shooter drills. And that's not the reality. The reality is that individual school districts, who are made up of superintendents and board members and police officers and military personnel, safety experts, come together. They do lots of research on what is best for their specific district and the best interests of their students, and then they make the decisions how to move forward in the active shooter drills that they will implement in their district. This means that the decision has the best interest of that specific community in mind. And active shooter drills, the intensity of the drill varies based on the age of the students, which I think is important to keep in mind, because a high schooler has a capacity greater than an elementary school student in terms of their understanding of the world, in terms of the actions that they can take in an emergency situation. So that is all considered in the decision-making process. She also emphasized that active shooter drills are often overperformed. And yes, there are schools that overperform them, and that is something that needs to be discussed. But the average school does not overperform them. The idea or the purpose of an active shooter drill is to walk students and faculty through the steps on what to do in the case of an emergency, not to traumatize them, not to put on this big spectacle on what it may look like, simply to give them the opportunity to practice what to do in an emergency situation. This is really important that the practice is given so that, based on different situations, different times of day, students and teachers know how to properly respond and to respond safely. So I agree that there should be some standard, but based on our Constitution, I think it's unsafe for there to be federal regulation on an often statewide decision. I think similar to how tornado drills have protocol or fire drills have a specific protocol that schools follow, that is what we need to do with active shooter drills. But to say that it does more harm than good isn't fair, because the practice and the knowledge on how to respond based on different situations that could come up will save lives one day. Heaven forbid that a school was put in that situation. And so equipping and empowering our students and our teachers to know how to properly respond in an emergency situation does ultimately do more good than harm. Thank you.